Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis. Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted.
What type of hospital are you?
You have been away too long, Doctor. With the...
I may have a solution. In France, during the war...
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain...
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke.
Perhaps I should look there first.
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to...
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door.
Yes, Doctor?
Why then?
At the Pembroke, we're all...
Lack of sleep and the medical profession.
London's trenches stop...
Your dedication.
We staff get our sleep when we can.
Please, could you point me?
It's the...
Exactly.
It really...
That's all for now, Nurse Crane. Thank you.
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza. key will surely grant me access to the basement. Balls of Mars, fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful. These skulls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not after blood.
It's locked. It's locked.
Mr. Connor's injured.
Don't matter.
The report. I'd better look into this. It's locked. Skulls can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting. Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage.
Good evening, Miss Howard.
I need blood, Doctor. Warm.
Tell me, Thelma.
I saw one and he saw me.
You mean you actually saw a vampire here in London?
Yes, and it has been the answer.
No, you are deluded.
But what am I feeling? It cannot only be a...
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel Do you plan to
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on any...
Would you say...
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even...
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activity.
Cosmics came here in the first place. Damn. The pain. It's here again. Giant morgue disguised as a hospital. That's Pembroke nowadays.
Good evening, Mr.
I'm okay.
How
So,
I'm
not really.
Yes,
maybe.
I have to go now, sir. But don't...
I'm all right. Don't waste your
Good
time
evening,
with
Doc.
me.
Do you require medical...
I have other...
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Finally, you've returned, Doctor. Did you find any...
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor.
Duty calls. When the storm has passed...
Many thanks, Doctor. Dr. Reed, may I...
What can you tell me about the epidemic, Nurse Crane?
Everyday folk don't know how bad it is.
News on the front stated that the
It seemed to be for a while.
What...
This hospital was founded to help the East...
Can you be more specific?
Well, veterans. I first volunteered at the Pembroke in 19...
And before you arrived here?
If you must know, this was my first...
Well, Dr. Swansea certainly has confidence in your...
Not in an official capacity.
How is the...
Everybody works until they can't.
What about medical...
Dr. Reed, we don't have the money and...
I'll see you later, Nurse Crane.
Be sure we're making a difference. Good evening, Doctor.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Helen. As for me, I'm a blundering idiot.
Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, Mr. Gos.
I'm okay.
This hospital. But in the circumstances, I'm...
How painful is your...
So painful.
I have to go now, sir.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
We're making a difference.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Why?
I'm...
Stop.
That's...
How painful is...
So
I'll...
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
This hospital seems to be falling apart. But
I'm
in the
all right.
circumstances, I'm
Don't
willing to
waste
give
your
you the
time
benefit
with
of the
me.
doubt.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
As for me, what a blundering
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
I have to go...
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, Doctor.
Goodbye, Mrs. Good evening, Mr.
I'm okay.
Tell me...
I don't want...
Why?
My mother...
Do you need any help? You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
Do you need any help?
Thank you, Dr. Reed, but you've done it.
I have to go now, sir.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening. Good. Do you need my...
You don't have to...
Goodbye, Doctor.
My sweet girl.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
My sweet girl. Reach me. Good evening. All I wanted was to go back to work, to take care of my children.
To arrange to have you buried in the same mass grave as your wife. I hope that might help.
It's locked. I cannot enter. Good evening.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir.
A colleague?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr.
What do you mean? You used to be a...
No, sir. It is just that I like to be...
Are you a...
Why should I? These bodies...
An interesting point of view.
Sir, as a medic during the war...
How did you get the...
After I left the army, I worked...
Do you work here?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have...
Why close the...
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic.
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names.
Have we met?
I don't think so.
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing.
A pawnbroker?
Yes, sir. All kind of...
Who
I'm very cautious, sir.
What kind of...
With the quarantine, it's not always
Since you're not afraid of dying...
No. I believe we must do all the...
Do you think you would enjoy immortality?
I don't think so. Don't miss...
So you're...
No, I am not.
You're a wise man, Mr.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man.
Do you really believe?
As I said, sir, everything decays.
Quite depressing.
Yes, but the good news is, we'll...
Do you need medical attention?
I'm feeling all right, Doctor.
Please show me.
Of course. It's just trinkets and...
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand...
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swan.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipity.
I'm a dead man. I was murdered.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work.
Thank you. But I'd rather you didn't speak.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury...
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay...
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble...
Do you need...
I have just a few...
Then ask away.
You mentioned something about a...
Certainly. I've been a member of the...
That explains your...
I feel it wasn't mere coincidence that led us to that part of town.
Yet you don't fear me.
The Brotherhood has studied your kind for centuries. We believe...
Since I'm the one working for you, what...
Well, for many years, we have been the only medical facility in... What we need is hope. You were a...
Where do we...
To be honest, we cope on a day-to-day basis.
Since you see...
As men of science, our first step is...
Must...
You are a vampire. You feed.
The sun. The morning following...
You will find there is very little that can kill a vampire, my friend.
The man we pursued and slew in the canning factory...
He was a Skrull, technically speaking. The debate rages as to their class...
Just for clarity...
A Skrull is easier to eliminate, Jonathan, even if they remain formidable foes for the unprepared. Vampires... Now, vampires exist...
How do Skrulls come into existence?
The name means slave. The etymology...
We'll see...
flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet Lady of Mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speak.
You're a the lady who saved me that night.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself.
Apologies. You've taken me by surprise. I'm very happy to see you.
The pleasure is mine, Doctor.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
Have any of the patients given...
These poor souls have so little left.
The world would be a better place.
You make me blush.
Pardon my boldness, Your Ladyship, but I have questions.
As a newborn, your hunger for answers is rivaled only...
I'm a scientist. My trade is in the deciphering of mysteries, and I need information to feed my mind.
I will gladly answer every question you have, but first...
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your...
These past insufferable weeks, I've been...
What are your expectations?
As the newly appointed surgeon of this hospital, you...
Who would be so foolish as to...
Even if it were the case, and I highly doubt...
If we're dealing with an ordinary criminal, surely you've...
As immortal tradition doth dictate, all fangs and hypnotic eyes ablaze, the blood would run like a river. That's what I hope to avoid.
Please continue. Every detail is...
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put...
Is it true?
Now aren't you the blunt one?
Excuse my impertinence, Your Ladyship.
In all honesty, I'm not simply a patron to the hospital. My visits...
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your... Is our little miss...
I think of...
My situation...
What is this?
There's no need for alarm, madam.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
If you continue shouting, I'll have you restrained and gagged. Understood?
How brave.
Harriet Jones. Indeed.
Better than any patient, nurse, or doctor.
I heard there have been some despicable...
Blackmail? Wait. You're...
If I didn't know better, Miss Jones, I'd be...
God's honest truth, Doctor. It's just the...
You seem to know more about the goings-on here than...
That's it. Blame the old and infirm. I see, though.
I assure you, madam, that this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching...
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll...
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round. Miss Jones. Greet. Now...
Well...
Have you noticed...
It would be a great deal easier to...
Come.
Have you no eyes?
Everyone here is very
Thieves and murderers, the lot. People...
If you...
It's terrible, Doctor. What with a pain in my chest...
I see.
No one comes to visit, you know.
I'll come...
The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you know if any of the
The people who work here all...
Have you seen...
I've never heard of such a...
Do you require...
Thank you for...
Have you seen a...
I've never heard of such a thing, Doctor.
Goodbye, Nurse.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I have to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals, or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
He's locked the door behind him. I need to find another way to follow him. This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor. What sort of creature is this? Here's what's left of him. Not a lot to... Some voucher for a free... Check up in Whitechapel. What is Nurse Crane up to? I really must find her.
Please, sir. I need help.
What's going on?
I'm Blight, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed from the Pembroke...
Oswald and myself were both infantry, sir.
How long have you been searching for him?
I can't go there. Too many rats.
Don't be ashamed, Mr. Blight. Many... What can you tell me?
His name is Oswald Thatcher.
Where was your...
He went down by the canal. He didn't want to go.
This is a danger.
We were looking for the Pembroke Hospital. He...
What can you tell me?
I'm Oswald's best friend.
I have all the...
Thank you, Doc.
It's locked, all right.